Can you hear me, Barry? Don't know what happened there. Everything was fine. I just pulled my headphones out and plugged them back in. Welcome everyone to LGE coverage here for Monday night for the first time in 2022. Hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year's. We're riding with the Monday night champion from season 2, formerly now Monday night racing, moves to Monday's limitless ones onto a tier system with the 2 tiers on Monday and Tuesday, and got a Thursday league now replacing our Sunday one from last season. We're at the pre-season for Russia here, not the Russian Grand Prix of course. We're not going to have one this season on our 20 race calendar. We're going to have 5 sprint races. The format for this season as last season, but if you haven't watched us before, sorry my voice is already going, that's not a good start, with short qualifying, and as you can see on our screens with the 80 minutes or a bit less than that now, and the 50% Grand Prix. Thursday is going to be completely different. We'll talk about that on Thursday potentially, but we'll concentrate on this right now with the limitless one category. We have got a few old faces back, with Tierney Massey rejoining the ranks, and Civi is formerly known as Civi Densi Pulley in the Alpha Tauri tonight. If you want to join the league, guys, and you're just watching us from Facebook, check out the description below. The Discord link is there. It's still got a seat or 2 I think in Thursday, and it is a completely different format. We are going to use multiplayer cars, and it's one-shot qualifying with a 25% sprint race, 50% Grand Prix, and it's going to be a week on week off basis with the format. And the second week it's going to be the same, but in the 25% you're going to get some points, and it will be a reverse grid for the Grand Prix, and then back to the third week it will go back to the week 1 format. So we're on board with a few laps now already with 13.5 minutes to go. It looks like we're going to have a wet race for the pre-season, so they're really checking it at the drivers, throwing them right in the deep end, with Merv, a debutant, on provisional pole at the moment by a couple of tenths, with Lucas A. Germany, formerly in the Ferrari on Sunday last season, is now in the Haas, and James Biscuit is in 3rd place in that Alpha Tauri, which he is supposed to be. We got that sorted in the end. We had a driver in the wrong car. Big Weir crosses the line, goes 6th fastest. Dazzy, our new admin, is down in 8th place with only 9 drivers putting times on the board. Snooker, another new man for season 3 of Monday. I'm going to keep saying Monday Night Racing, but it's not. Monday's Limitless 1. We've got the champ Apex Finley in the pits. Vedran is coming around the final couple of corners here. The only man that could challenge at the end, and he was a bit challenged round the final corner of turn 18 there, but does take provisional pole with a 130.8. So I suppose that's the way to take it through turn 18. We've got Tierney Matty on a lap. We'll have to come into turn 17 now. See how he does across the line. It goes 10th fastest. The Ferrari is both 10th and 11th at the moment, but Yo-Yo, as it stands, is starting on the fresher rubber, with Callie now coming around the chicane towards the end of the lap, towards turn 17 in the McLaren. Another debutant, a reserve at the moment. I think he's going to be waiting in the wings for a Monday seat when it potentially comes available. I think he invalidated his last lap time. We'll make sure to know that next time with the track map. It's been a few weeks. I'm a bit out of touch, so I do apologise for anyone watching. Chem Jazz is on his out lap, about to negotiate the chicane of 15 and 16. We'll just ride with Callie Robb here, the American, coming through turn 4. He now makes a short run down towards turn 5. You want to use all the track on the exit there. Mind that wall on the outside though, because that will end your qualifying or race when we get there. As Callie Robb now is just negotiating the final parts of sector 1 into sector 2 now, and down towards this back straight, which is not so straight. It goes wide goes wide enough though for the game to not realise it was a track limit violation. So any issue with the track limits, sometimes if you just go over the white line, it'll get you. If you go a metre or so off over the white line, you're usually all right. But you could argue you have probably lost a little bit of time as he came down towards turn 14 there. Took it rather nicely as well as turn 13. And bails into the pit, so still yet to settle out with 10.5 minutes left on the clock. Seeing the Williams of Chemjazz barreling down the back straight into this really tricky left then right-hander as he takes a purple sector 2 there into sector 3 now, and really off camber left-hander here, and really got to be careful with that throttle pedal. Negotiates 15 and 16. And that Aston Martin getting out of the way nicely there. I think it was his fellow admin, Apex Finley, as he comes across the line. 11th fastest for the Williams. Is going to give Apex potentially a little bit of a toe day. Well, that was a bit awkward of Chem getting out of the way there, as we see Finley now going down towards turn 2. Of course, the first braking zone of the lap. Turn 1 is just a slight right-hand curve as Apex takes a really tight apex through turn 3 there, as we're now coming down towards turn 4. Britt hoping to kick off where he left off last season, on top form, winning the title with a couple of races to go. I say that though, he won it in Baku by coming in last place. There is some way of coming out in style as he runs around that right-hander and gets a nice bit of a tail wag there on that Aston Martin as he now runs down towards the right-hander onto the back straight. Only one of two men now not to set a time. Right on board, negotiates turn 12. This section, it's just, you've got to be so patient with it the whole way. It's quite clumsy, especially this chicane where it's just uphill and the curves are quite high as well. The sausage curves, the orange ones, and they used to be rather flat. So this game they definitely raised them. It is a lot better in that sense. It stops you from trying to cut the corner too much. It's Finley taking that rather nicely, goes second fastest. The two men you still expect to be at the top are still at the top. Vedran and Apex Finley are dueling it out in this qualifying ring, but Vedran has had the bigger blow at the moment. But we've got 8 minutes to see if we can see a knockout from either one of the drivers or anyone else who's going to try and get involved in this scrap. McLarens are at the back at the moment with the Ferrari now coming around turn 1. I think that was Yo-Yo as we see him come down towards turn 2 in car number 2. And I have to say, this track is a real killer for track limits. It really does chew you up and spit you back out this circuit on the race control track limits front. Seems right on the edge of track limits there, using all the track. Couldn't get the power down nicely though, as you saw the back end really struggling to get some rear grip as he now comes down this back straight. Probably the best overtaking place on the track potentially. Well, one of two really. It's the only two that are really optimal overtaking spots. So Aston gets out of the way there nicely of Apex Finley. On the run to the clumsy chicane. As we've got Candy Rob, the only man not to set a time on his outlap. We saw him come out the pits just a few seconds ago as Yo-Yo comes around turns 17 and 18. Parallels of each other, two 90-degree right-handers. He comes out the final corner, uses all the track, but doesn't gain anywhere in positions. Vedran is on an outlap, and Apex Finley is in the pits. It's an Aston 2-3 at the moment, sharing one's on the front row and the other's just behind on the second row. Merv is coming around the final corner, splits the 2 championship protagonists last season in that Mercedes. And that is a very common sight, isn't it, of a Red Bull and a Merc sharing the front row. You see Cali Rob now coming down to turn 4 and out of sector 1 into sector 2 with that Ferrari just behind him, I think, of Yo-Yo. Not using all the track there, deciding to take a slightly shallower line, but does invalidate again. He's really struggling with this Russian circuit, this Sochi Autodrome, as that Williams gets out of the way, but no need to now. As I think Civi is just on a cool down lap. He's just done one. James Biscuit is on the front row. It's a Red Bull as a whole team on the front row at the moment with a Red Bull and an Alpha Tauri. So Cali back into the pits. It's a one shot for him now with only a few minutes left on the clock, 4.5 minutes to be precise, as Yo-Yo jumps into the pits as well. I think we're going to see some pit lane chaos about to ensue now, with drivers coming out for their final runs. As we see Vedran, I think he is got himself on a lap there. We'll just have a quick look. Pretty sure he's on a flyer at the moment. We'll see if he can improve. He's still got 2 tenths in his pocket over James Biscuit in that Alpha Tauri, and he just got himself up onto the front row though. It was Merv and Apex before that as he Tokyo drifts around turn 13 there. That's not really what you want to be doing, and he's definitely abandoned that lap, and now going into the pits, sensible option. So Cali Rob, the only man not to set a time. 2 of the debutants are at the bottom of the timesheet at the moment, but Merv is really putting his stamp on LFR already in that 3rd position, taking the top spot on the 2nd row. We've got 3.5 minutes to go in this session. Pretty much every driver is in the pits apart from Chemjazz, who I think is on a lap there. He's really rather pushing there into sector 3. He comes around turn 16. Short run now down towards turn 17 with that pit lane on the right hand side. Really cuts the apex of turn 17 there, the pit entry, as he comes around the final corner, goes 10th. And he's not in a position where he definitely doesn't feel satisfied. If you're going to stay somewhere around 9th or 10th, you'd really rather be in 11th place, to be honest, and be on those fresh tyres. Of course, only got 15 tonight, unfortunately, for the pre-season. Obviously, it's not any points up for grabs tonight, so I don't think a lot of people had a lot of incentive to race, but I'm sure we'll have a full grid for next week. But we have got a lot of reserves getting themselves a little bit in practicing tonight, so it's a little bit of a pre-season for them as well, and a few of the newer drivers and some of old returning to us. Tierney Matty, and said now we've got drivers out on their outlaps. Cali Rob is out on his outlap. We'll keep an eye on him as he's the only man not to set a time, and we already know, obviously you guys haven't seen it yet, but we already know he has got some speed under his right foot, or his big rear would like to say. He's a speedy boy, and we have found out that he has been, and he said that about Merv as well, so I'm sure he's not wrong, as Cali is now on a lap. Dazzy James is out of qualifying. Not sure where he's retired there. He's done it in the pit. He might have done. Not a good qualifying position for him either. Dazzy is out of this session. Cali Rob is on his lap, as you can see, on board now through turn 3. Needs to get a time in, so he's really not going to be going at 100%. This is, well, he's done it more than once, but this is his 2nd serve now, as we're using other sports puns, but it really is. He needs to really have a safe lap now and not get too close to that white line, as he's been quite comfortable through all of these corners we ride on board. So it looked like he just clipped a bit of that sausage curve. The car became a little bit unbalanced there. Through turn 10. And James is saying there's a strategy plan. Now, James, as you're there, mate, what was the weather like in the race? Or is it just partially wet? Just a little bit of information would be nice. We've got 35 seconds left on the clock watching Cali Rob at the end of this qualifying session. He would have enough time to go again. He's on the mediums as well, actually. So we didn't check that before. Put that up very quickly. He's the only man on the mediums, goes 5th. Pretty good lap for a medium time there. We have got a driver. He has got a driver behind him of Apex Finley. He's going to be wanting to pick up a tow here. So I don't think he realises he's probably going to be going again. There's a little bit of light rain, but who knows, because of Jeff, and I certainly would have to agree with him on that one. But yeah, Cali is staying on a lap. I don't think Apex planned for this, but I think this is sort of on Apex here. He took a gamble, it hasn't really paid off. King David has now took the checker with a 131.418. So watching Apex very, very close to the back. His teammate Snooker is in the pit, invalidated his lap time there. Looks like we've got a Ferrari, 2 Ferraris coming around the final couple of corners here. As Apex Finley retires from the session. He crashed out there as Tierney Massey crosses the line, goes 9th fastest. So the next man to cross the line looks like it'll be a Murph. If it's not, he's in the pit. So we've got a Red Bull now of Anthony coming across the line now, goes 6th fastest with a 131.433. Big Weir is now coming around the final corner of turn 18, not to exceed track limits there. Puts himself next to his teammate in 5th with a 31.3. There are 4 drivers in the 131.4s. James Biscuit now takes provisional pole and potentially pole position, as we've only got Lucas who can challenge him, and he's not going to be able to challenge him as he's diving into the pit. So James takes pole position by the exact same time as Vedran. So that isn't actually correct. Vedran should be taking pole position as he set the time first, but F1 2021 game says James Biscuit is on pole, so that is who it will be, and James takes the pole position with the exact same time as Vedran. 2/10 between the top 2 and 3rd place there with the identical time, but it's very, very close in that midfield. There's 3/10 separating 6 drivers. Yeah, so that is certainly what we like to see, and obviously we've got about 8 or 9 full-time drivers that haven't shown up tonight. We've got a good handful of reserves picking up the pieces tonight, but James Biscuit takes the pole position with the exact same time as his rival Vedran, who got a 130.867 also. But for some reason James Biscuit takes the pole, even though he did the lap after Vedran. Merv is in 3rd. 4th is Apex Finley. 5th is Big Weir. King David is in 6th. Anthony is in 7th. Cali Rob is in 8th. Civi, the man who's back as well, in 9th place. Tierney Matty is in 10th. Lucas A. Germany is in 11th. Chem Jazz is in 12th.
Okay, I found this on the web for 10th. Germany is in 11th.
And Siri decided he wanted to talk to me. Dazzy is in 13th. Yo-Yo is in 14th. And Snooker is in 15th and last in the McLaren. Apologies for that. So it said light rain, but it's not looking like any rain at all just yet. So it's looking like we might be getting a few mixed conditions. So we're just waiting for the drivers to sort out their strategies for the race. Obviously, this is really going to be key if there is some rain involved in this race. And obviously, it's a really long run down towards turn 2. Obviously, I said earlier on, no braking zone at turn 1. Just a slight right-hander. Rain at the end, says Tierney Massey. So that could make a very, very exciting finale to the race. Two-thirds through the race, says Apex Finley. Formation lap will begin. We have 27 laps of this pre-season at Russia at the Sochi Autodrome. As I said again, not the Russian Grand Prix. We're having Russia tonight because Russia is not on our 20 race calendar for this season. The other thing to point out as well, which is for me, personally, I didn't think it would actually happen. We're on to our first year anniversary next week when we start season 3, so it is rather fitting. We're going to be on to our difficult third album, but hopefully season 3 will be the best season we've had so far. It's definitely been going on an upward trajectory, and looking like with the team we've got now that we're going to be on a really good course for success this season. And we're just going to have a quick look at the tyre situation. Everyone who can have free choice from 11th to 15th are on the medium tyres. Cali Rob, who's starting in 8th on the medium tyres, keep an eye out for him, especially if there's rain coming two-thirds of the way through the race. He may not have to pit until the rain comes, and it might only be light enough for soft tyres. So I said, keep an eye out on the debutant, the American Cali Rob. The Finn, Sibiru, is in 9th place. Got some serious pace, race pace especially, and he may make his way up the order. James Biscuit is on pole. It's a Red Bull 1-2, a Red Bull family of 1-2 with an AlphaTauri on pole position, and James and the Red Bull of Vedran in 2nd place. Another new man, as I said, Merv in 3rd. Please everyone, make sure to like and subscribe. It'd be great to get to 160 subscribers before the start of season 3. Target for this season is 200 subscribers, so hopefully we'll get there. It's certainly doable, but I do hold out a lot of hope. But obviously that makes you guys, you need to click that red button just below the stream. As I say, if you want to join the league, please do in the description below. If that link doesn't work, I'll change it anyway for a longer lasting one, but if not, just put a comment on the video and I'll see it and put another link for the Discord. So 27 laps of this pre-season before the season starts next Monday night for the 3rd season on a Monday, but the first season of being called Monday's Limitless One is the tier system for Monday, but it's almost a pre-season for the reserves as well. What is going to happen in this pre-season, as I always say, only time will tell. We've already got 3, 4 and 5 red lights, and we're away for Monday's Limitless One for the pre-season at Russia, and Merv is going to take the lead straight away, and Vedran goes side by side with Merv down towards turn 2. James Biscuit got a horrendous start. Snooker in the background has dropped back quite a lot there, and there's Aston Martins are making contact with each other there. By the looks of things, Apex potentially came off worse. Someone took the run off there. There's 3 of them going around turn 3. Very, very close together. Is Merv going to go for a move at turn 4? No, James Biscuit has lost himself 2 positions though. And we're running through turn 6 now and on towards turn 7, as we see a Ferrari in the background going right off the road there. Lucky not to hit the wall. The 2 Ferraris are jostling for position, that 11th position. And this is looking like it's going to be a real treat of a fight at the front of the field. The champ is going to get involved in this as well. And the top 5, top 6 are very close together, and Cali is going to hope keep hold of the coattails of this train ahead, but Lucas A. Germany is going to try and go for a move here on those medium tyres as well. Moves himself up into 7th place into turn 14. Job done for the German in the Haas. As we move back to the front of the field, Vedran is going to be leading on lap 2 as he runs around turn 17. Into the final corner, as of course Vidran will take the fastest lap. He's the first man to cross the line. The two Aston Martins have not changed positions as of yet, nor the Alfa Romeo of King David. There's a bit of weaving on the straight, not too much of that, because you could get yourself in a little bit of trouble. There was a bit of lag there from Merv, a bit of glitching from his Merc, as James Biscuit, I think, was really quite desperate to get past his train of cars. They're all very close together as that Alfa Romeo is just starting to drop off a little bit. Have a look at the tyres once again. King David is the last man in that front group to be on the soft tyres. After that, it's Lucas A. Germany on the mediums. There is not very much between the top 6. To be precise, there's 2 seconds between the top 6 at the moment, 3.5 seconds between the top 7. So that is still very, very close indeed. And this is what we're all hoping for Monday this season. And the top drivers, apart from Merv, we have got a yellow flag there. Got a Ferrari right at the back there. Got Anthony in the wall. Not sure what's happened to his race there. And of course, with the weather potentially coming a little later on in this session, it's all still to play for. Oh, who was that? Was that Vidran? Who was that? That was Vidran. Vidran just went straight on into the wall. Luckily, isn't out of this race. That was a really bizarre incident there. I'm not sure what happened to him there. That was honestly very, very strange indeed. And that's ruined his race at the front. I have never, in the whole of last season of Vidran being here, never seen him do that. Civi is round as well, and 5-second penalty for severe collision with Tierney Matty. It's all kicked off on lap 3 as DRS is enabled. Anthony, that's going to be some welcome news for him, as Yo-Yo is coming down towards turn 2. And Anthony is just behind him. The virtual safety car is out. Might be a little bit of welcome news for the front runners, just gives them a little bit of a break. But they're all going to want to be sticking as close together as possible. As Big Ware looking for a dummy there for the pit lane, potentially. We still have all 15 drivers in this race. A couple of drivers have had a collision, all to Vidran of his own making. This is going to help his fight back a little bit. Depends how long this virtual safety car stays out for. It's been out for a little while, but surely it should be ending any second now. And there we go. On call, Merv is in the lead of this race, followed by James Biscuit. Just under 5 tenths, just under 3 tenths, 4 tenths now, sorry, separate the top 2. James Biscuit has looked like a man who wants to be in the lead, but hasn't been as of yet. We are only on lap 4, so DRS is now enabled. We had the virtual safety car on lap 3, so that wasn't able to be used just yet. All these guys are very close together at the front. I don't think there's going to be a move just yet. I think we're going to wait until we get on to lap 5 down towards turn 2. The top 5 still very close together. Saying that, Callie is getting very close to Lucas A. Germany in the Haas. as we're about to see a move from Cali here down the inside at turn 2. We haven't really seen any moves as of yet. The pack has been very, very close together. There's Tierney Matty, looks like he's round as well. And he's going to be coming close to Civi, the man he had an incident with a couple of laps ago. I don't think he is going to come into the pits. He may have some damage. He does to the left front of his wing there. Just seen Tierney Matty go for a pit stop there. 1 second separate the top 2. James has just got himself out of DRS range, might make himself vulnerable to the Aston Martins behind that are harassing the back of his diffuser there. We're going to see a move, I think we are, from Big Weir. James Biscuit goes defensive, but I don't think there was any point whatsoever. Of course, Big Weir last season was a contender for the title, but did miss a few races, which eventually just dropped him out of contention. Potentially with a few extra races, it's more chance to get a few more points, and especially with 2 more sprint races next season. Same format for the sprint, the short quali, the 5-lap race, and the normal 50% Grand Prix. But there is 2 extra ones, so there's another 21 points. No, sorry, 20. There's no fast lap in sprint. 20 points are up for grabs in the sprint races. Big Weir's almost got himself down to a second, but James is fighting back against Big Weir there and gets the move done, running outside at turn 14. As he loses the rear end there through turn 15, sorry. Seeing a couple of moves going on here. Big Weir now gets past James Biscuit again. Not working together to catch the front man. This is what he wants. He may get ahead a little bit more, but he is right on the cusp of that DRS window still, is James Biscuit and Big Weir. Apex is still keeping himself right there. There's Cali Rob on the medium tyres. Said keep an eye out for this man. In this battle between the top 5 still, Lucas Germany is just behind them, so he's not out of contention at all, nor is King David. Just that little bit away, but these front runners are just so close on pace. It's fantastic to see, and obviously we've got a lot of the drivers that aren't here tonight, which I think will be in this huddle of cars, as we're seeing potentially some moves going on here. Is James Biscuit looks to go round the outside of Big Weir, but isn't able to get that move done there. Big Weir is going to have to go defensive. And as James is trying to sneak his way through, Big Weir lets him go through, I think, and Apex is now going to try and get himself involved, goes down the inside at turn 17, so we come around turn 18 now. As Apex has now moved himself up into second place. Big Weir is going to try and look for the outside as well on James Biscuit. Does break a little bit later. Is going to get pushed off though. Don't know if he got a warning for that. But now Cali Rob is going to get involved. It's 3 abreast through turn 3. As we now come around into turn 4, Cali Rob backed out of it. James Biscuit and Big Weir go side by side down towards turn 6. Getting all my numbers mixed up. It's the pre-season, it's fine, I can make all these mistakes, I do apologise. As Cali Rob is just behind them, and Lucas A. Germany is going to get involved in the fight as well. James Biscuit and Big Weir are still side by side. Apex is now gained so much. Big Weir has helped his teammate out no end now as he goes off onto the red and blue runoff area. As we come around, those clouds are coming in now on lap 8. The rain may be coming sooner than we thought, as James Biscuit is now going to try and take back that 3rd place, and Cali Rob potentially is going to go to the inside on Big Weir as well, as he almost gets squeezed off. They're going to have to go side by side. There was just enough room left. Lucas is now losing places. This is amazing, absolutely amazing, and this is only the pre-season, guys. This is something already to behold. If I said, if you want to join this league and be a reserve at least in Monday night for the time being until the seat becomes available, as the pit stops now start happening. Apex Finley dives into the pits. Yeah, if you want to join the league, links in the Discord, in the description below, the Discord link. If it's not there, please put a comment down. I'll give you the Discord link. As Big We're going to go for a move into turn 2. Those medium tyres are going to be a lot better now. King David trying to go around the outside, does go off track, gains the position. That was slightly controversial. I think Jace Big Weir is going to try and take this back again, and he does. The 87 car moves up into 3rd place. James Biscuit is in the pits. This is not what Big Weir wants though. Fighting with King David. This has got to be the in lap. His very, very best in lap. As clouds are coming in. There's still a little bit of blue sky just above our heads, but it is starting to get a bit gloomy here at Sochi. So now making a run down towards turn 14. As Lucas is just behind, it's this 3-car fight now. Chem Jazz, we've been with the front runners for so long in this race. To have a little look at other drivers. The position changes. I know a lot of the drivers still are yet to pit. Dazzy though has moved himself up 7 positions. It's a battle for the admins for 6th place between Dazzy and Chemjaz. Big Weir looks like he stays out for another lap, but is going to be under threat by King David and Lucas A. Germany. We'll see how under threat that becomes as his red light is already flashing as we're 2/3 down this long straight. It's a bit of a sandwich for Big Weir there as Dazzy is out. Is that going to be a safety car? It is. That's a safety car. The first man out in this race on lap 10. Safety car deployed. That is exactly what Big Weir wanted. That's exactly what King David wanted, taking that 3rd place right before the safety car was deployed. Commiserations to Dazzy there. But that has caused a bit of an issue there. Vedran is allowed to go through. Very close to that safety car though. So this is going to bunch the field up nicely. It brings Vedran right back into play. We've got this real solid group of drivers in the top 10. No offence to anyone else. I mean, even Yo-Yo, Civi, Tierney, Massey, Snooker, we don't know very well just yet, but has been running towards the back, so I'd argue he probably wouldn't be able to get in this tussle in this big group at the front. So, as I said, guys, we'll talk about Monday for next week. So the first race is like last year for Monday. It is going to be Bahrain for the first race. A really good first race, nice race, of course, to start the season. The first race, as Tierney Matty says, safety car, exactly what I needed. And it's going to be what a few drivers really wanted to happen. Big Weir is in the pits, and I think his teammate Apex Finley is going to come out ahead of him. Is Big Weir going to go on the softs though, as the rain is coming? He doesn't. He's going to go on to the medium tyres. That would have been a bit of a risk As Apex is coming around the penultimate corner. Snooker got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So now coming out of the pits, Apex Finley is ahead. The only place you can make a move here. Vedran is now just got ahead of them as well. And that was really good for Vedran there. That's really brought him back out into play. Callie is on the soft, so keep an eye out for him. This is exactly what he wanted. James Biscuit almost looked like he was going to go for a move there under the safety car. I thought surely not, as Snooker is into the pits. Yo-Yo now goes through. Civi goes through as well. We're only waiting for Tierney Matty, who's going to move up a position as well on Snooker. I'm pretty sure of that. Snooker isn't even at the speed limit line as he now comes out of the pits. It's the last driver to make his pit stop. We've got 14 drivers left in this race. We're on lap 11 of 27 of this pre-season for Monday's Limitless 1 on LGE. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the videos. As I said, next week is Bahrain for round 1 of Monday's Limitless 1. A third season for LFR on a Monday, of course, formerly known as Monday Night Racing, but the same league, but only in a tier system now. We've streamlined it, trying to take the best drivers from both days and Sunday from last season. So it looks like we're going to have another lap of this, as Snooker is yet to catch up to the field. We'll be back at the end of this lap, or some way through it. I'm just going to have a quick drink. So we'll get back underway, I'm pretty sure, on lap 12 of this race. A couple of drivers still to catch up to the field. I have a sneaky that Anthony, just before I go, Anthony is playing the tactics here, just holding up the pack a little bit, keeping the tyre wear up, being slightly faster than the safety car pack ahead. So when he catches up towards the end of sector 2, the safety car will come in because they've all caught up, and these drivers at the back will have the best tyres. So he's actually doing everyone a bit of a favour here. As they predicted, the safety car would be in this lap. They caught up just down the back straight. So Anthony's in a prime position, especially against Kem, who's gone onto the hard tyres. Have a quick look at what everyone went on just before we start again. Intermediate for King David. That was a brave call there for King David. I'm not sure if that's going to work for him though. As we're about to get back underway, I don't think he wants to give anyone any sort of tow. Merv gets away just over the line. That was a bit of a dangerous game to play there. As Lucas A. Germany going to take the lead towards turn 2 they go now. Merv is going to hold that inside line. He does have the soft tyres to help him through turn 2. They go side by side as Lucas goes off the track. Maybe gains himself a bit of an advantage there. Apex, the champ, is going to go and try and take the lead into turn 4. doesn't Lucas A. Germany hold on to that position. Vedran's getting involved as well. There's a yellow flag with Sibi looking like he's around again at the back with Tierney Matty again. These two drivers have come together twice now, with Snooker getting involved in that one as well. We didn't see exactly what happened. Merv is yet to pit in this race. Not sure if that was a wise call. Lucas A. Germany is yet to pit as well, maybe waiting for the rain to come, but when is it going to come? We don't know just yet. The clouds are starting to come in. It's getting a bit more gloomy. It should come in a bit quicker now as that safety car was out. Slowed up the laps, of course. And so James Biscuit and Big Weir are fighting side by side once again in this race as James tries to go round the outside. Big Weir holds on to the position again, taking that inside line. So we've got a yellow flag once again. Tierney Matty is round, really struggling with this Sochi circuit as Lucas is trying to break the toe from Apex Finley, but it may not work, or maybe it does, as he holds on into turn, oh it doesn't actually, he goes wide through turn 2 and now loses position. Vedran and Merv are going side by side through turn 3, almost come together there as Vedran now moves up. Callie is going to try and pick up the scraps of an overtake here as Tierney Matty retires in the pit lane. Callie moves himself up to 4th place. He is on the soft tyres, looking in a very promising position for the American as Merv and Big Weir go side by side now through turn 8. Turns 9 and 10 come up very fast indeed as we now come into turn 11. Yo-Yo is trying to get involved as well on the soft tyres as well. As Matthew said, that was a load of rubbish. Why am I always so unlucky, as he now leaves the session. Merv trying to go around the outside there of Yo-Yo. As we're on lap 14 of 27. You're watching the pre-season of Monday's Limitless 1 with Apex Finley, our current champion in the 23 car, is leading this Russian pre-season race. You can see Germany is the man in second, but looking like the cork in the bottle as he's not yet pit in this race. Merv is now pit as well. Vedran looking like he's going to go down the inside on Lucas A. Germany. Is he going to be able to hold on? He actually goes off the track. They both go off the track. This is quite hard racing. As Callie now moves himself up, he does spin though and gets himself involved with other people. Big Weir is round, it's raining, the rain has come in, James Biscuit is out, it's caught everyone really off guard. Big Weir is still in this race. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. Is that going to bring the safety car out? It doesn't. It brings the virtual safety car out as Callie Robb is trying to take the position now. I'm not sure who owns that 5th place as it stands, but the rain is coming in thick and fast. It just caught everyone off guard there. I think that is just a genuine accident, and Vedran was the man to come off the worst there. As Merv is just pit for the intermediates. Kemjaz has as well. I'm not sure how Apex is finding this. This rain came in thick and fast, and these drivers have got to just try and keep on the black stuff as they come into the pits. Luckily we're not at racing speed, so the field is stabilised as Lucas is really struggling, and Yo-Yo will have so much problems, but it will get to a point where everyone will just be in the same playing field in terms of drying tyres. And of course they'll just start aquaplaning as Sibi gets himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Apex Finley is in the pits. Who is going to take the lead of this race? This is the interesting one. Who is going to take the lead? Is it... Apologies, my headphones came out there. Is it going to be King David that takes the lead of this race? Apex Finley is just coming out of the box. I think he is going to still be in the lead. Fortunately for him, that BSC really helped him there, but it is going to move King David up the field a fair bit, moves him up into second place as Lucas now comes around. Merv now comes around into third place. Lucas just slots in behind him in fourth. Yo-Yo comes out. Big Weir is now down in 10th. Probably got held up by his teammate who pit just before him. I think it's slightly quicker now. They did do an update, but still not the just over 2 second pit stops we're used to. We're just over half distance in this race, coming up to 2/3 in this race, and the rain, as you can see, is really pouring. It's very similar to this to last year, Russian Grand Prix, of course, where Lando Norris came off worse there and staying out a little too long. That was a real shame for Lando Norris. Apex, though, is now to keep his cool, as you would expect from the current champion, with 7 seconds in his pocket. The luck really does just fall in his lap, does Finley, as he now negotiates turn 14. Much slower than before, of course, goes under the bridge. See him coming around turn 18, actually. I'm not sure, though. I'm looking at a track map and I'm not sure which one's right, so I do have to apologise. I'll make sure to get it completely right for next week. But it said 18 turns on the game. It's saying 19 turns on the track map. I'm not sure whose is correct. I'm probably going to be swayed by the track map rather than Codemasters. No offence to them. 1/10 separates King David and Merv. Merv looks like he's got some pace in the race, in the wet conditions as it stands. Lucas Germany getting himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, probably trying to catch up with Merv ahead. Big Weir must be so frustrated with having such a good race. And that is sport, though. In any sort of sport, you've just got to have a bit of luck on your side, and that wasn't the case for the Aston Martin driver at Big Weir. And yeah, you're not imagining anything. Big Weir has stayed with the Silverstone outfit. Lawrence Stroll really loved his performances last season, so kept him on board for season 3. I'm joking, we don't know Lawrence Stroll. As Apex Finley is leading the race rather comfortably, but King David isn't in second place comfortably at all. He's got that murk breathing down his neck. No DRS, of course, now, as the rain is falling, but does Merv need it? Not by the looks of things. He's trying to brake slightly later. King David taking a slightly more defensive line there, as we've got a yellow flag, maybe for Vedran. That's a car going slowly. It is for Vedran. He's still into the wall, trying to get the car turned round. And he's now got himself facing the right direction. There is a slight bit of weaving there from King David, a little bit too loud, but we don't want it to get too excessive as he now takes a defensive inside line. As it looks like they're still side by side, they're going to run through turn 2. As we've seen all race going around the outside there, it doesn't look like a possibility, but getting the move done here at turn 4 is the more likely option. But King David has been able to hold on to that second place. Vedran, though, is out and retired into the pit lane. So the second place man in the championship last season is out of the pre-season, so we'll see him next week in round 1 in Bahrain. Pretty sure that race won't rain, even though it is in their name, but I think it only rains like once or twice a year in Bahrain. I think I heard a few days ago on a podcast. Actually, as King David is going defensive once again, hugging that left-hand side of the track, not used to the racing line, as we now come down to turn 14, as the switcheroo for Merv there. He gets the move done, moves himself up into second place. King David does have a time penalty to his name, but he does take second place on the road now. But 8 seconds is the deficit to Apex Finley, and that is a very, very tall order. There is a small group of cars fighting for position, 4 of them, with Callie trying to get past Anthony, but hasn't been able to do so just yet. Doesn't look like the rain has been intensifying just yet. I say that as we come out the final corner. Callie now runs alongside Anthony through turn 1, giving each other good respect there, good amount of space between the two of them, running down to turn 2, the first braking zone. He has got the Ferrari ahead of him, has Anthony, as Callie is almost round there, keeps himself alive. They both make contact. They said going around the outside hasn't been the way of it. I think Anthony gets back the position. Big Weir, he's got to try and catch up, but he is quite a way behind. That really did damage his entire race at turn 3. A few laps ago, I think it was lap 14. Just seeing Lucas A Germany still within the DRS range, but of course I'm saying that there is no DRS in the wet, but he is within a distant slipstream range. He needs to get a little bit closer. The rain looks like it might be deteriorating just a little bit more potentially. Not too sure. This could end up becoming dry at the end actually, I don't know. There's a bit of brightness in the clouds just ahead of the Haas as we come down towards the final 2 corners, just over in the mountains in the distance. This is the closest battle on track between King David and Lucas A Germany. Tenths is now the gap between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo. Callie is still very close to the back of Yo-Yo. He's still got 7.5 laps to go in this race. And the rain doesn't seem like it's decreasing any time soon. You did see that light cloud the lap before, but I'm not sure if it is going to stop towards the end. It's been a good pre-season for these guys though, having a bit of a test in 2 different conditions in the race, and it was pretty much a 50-50 split, but arguably a little bit easier for the guys in the second half of the race as the cars get a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to handle and manage through the corners. There's a lot of 90-degree corners at this Sochi circuit. 6.5 seconds now separate the top 2. It could be possible Merv is now cutting down that gap. Has got a little bit of battery to spare, so is Apex. As we see, Yo-Yo is round on the start finish. Needs to be careful. He's got some time after this Aston goes past. He's going to have to do a whole lap with no front wing as we now go green once again. 1 second separate third and 4th, but King David has an extra time penalty to his name. Yo-Yo has 9 seconds, Snooker has 8 seconds, sorry, with 4 DNFs in this race. We're down to 11 in this Russian pre-season race. Close to winning a Grand Prix there, haven't done it just yet. Apologies. And yeah, Cali Rob is half a second behind. We have a yellow flag. Is that snooker? It might have been. Not 100% though. As that time isn't coming down anymore between the top two. I'll keep an eye on it. For the next coming laps, he would need to be gaining around a second a lap to have a chance to get the race win on the final lap. As Cali is going to try and overtake Chem Jazz here. Obviously these drivers are probably on maybe more of a dry setup, I would think, just because they probably thought the rain was coming a little later. It was before this safety car. Of course we had a VSC as well, which slowed the pack down just a little bit more and probably made it come a couple of minutes earlier than the drivers would of course have been expecting on whatever lap they would have been on if we had been green for the entirety of this pre-season race. Is Cali going to go for a move this time? Chem doesn't go defensive, doesn't need to go defensive. He would have been defending thin air. Just go off the track though, gets himself his first time penalty, which means that Cali has already got himself promoted to 5th place. Five and a half seconds separate the top two. That gap is now starting to come down a little bit more, but of course the laps are starting to run out as Anthony may get in this tussle for 5th place as we come down towards the back straight. Yeah, second of the two DRS straights, as I said before, no DRS in wet conditions. Is Cali going to have a go this time? Look like he's prepared to chance his arm just yet, show his hand, but we're just seeing the McLaren there getting blue flagged and out the way nicely there. 6 tenths separate these two drivers for the battle for 3rd place, but of course King David needs to gain 3 seconds on Lucas A. Germany to be able to clinch that 3rd place, and as it stands Lucas A. Germany is in 3rd with King just making himself that little bit wider on the straight with a bit more of that weaving at the start of the straight, but didn't really need to at all. Lucas maybe try and put him off into the braking zone, but wasn't able to do that. Almost side by side here between the Williams and the McLaren, as the McLaren tries to brake later, runs over the curb, doesn't get the position. It is going to bring Anthony into the fold here as they come around turn 3. Don't think this is going to be flat anymore in these conditions. Is Cali going to go to the inside? No, not just yet. Doesn't try to gain that 5th place. 4.5 seconds separate the top two. Yo-Yo is in the pits. Cali is round and obviously had maybe a tangle with Kenjaz or spun out of his own accord. Big Weir is now coming around turn 8. 4.5 seconds, 4 seconds separate Cali and Big Weir now, so he's cut a big deficit down there from Cali's own mishap. So we've seen these two drivers within a second of each other for quite a few laps since the rain started coming down about 8 or 9 laps ago. King David, as always, goes to the inside there down the pit straight and through turn 1 now. He's deciding to go a little more defensive this time, but Lucas not going for the move. And we're seeing Anthony getting very close to the back of Kemjaz. That gap still coming down between the top two.
we have to keep a closer eye on this. I'm sure Apex is going to be in his sights now. He is, and that is probably going to spur him on just that little bit more, but he needs to be keeping up that Apex speed to gain that time on Apex Finley. I'm going to use a lot of these this season. I didn't do it last season, so it's going to happen. Unfortunately, Finn, as you see another yellow flag there. Looks like that was the McLaren getting a blue flag there. As you see another yellow flag. Not sure who that was for. Lucas still stuck behind King David. Look like Yo-Yo who's getting blue flagged as well. Be careful he goes off the road though like that. We've got two battles and they're both within half a second of each other. We're now on lap 25 of 27. Merv looks like he's put up a good comeback drive here to try and catch up to the leader and current Monday champion, but looking like he's going to run out of laps to be able to do it. He wasn't able to cut that deficit enough, and he was taking some heavy chunks out of Merv. But it looks like he's going to get himself on the podium though for his first proper race. We haven't been doing social races, it's not been streamed though, and this is technically the first race for Monday. Also points up to Grabs, just the pre-season. Everyone get their eye in for next week. Also not a new game, not so important. There are some new faces mixing with each other. As you see that Ferrari go off track there, I think that was a blue flagged car again. 2.7 seconds, 2.5. If Apex makes any sort of mistake here, Merv is in with a shot. And it's getting agonisingly close between the two of them. You see Callie get himself a time penalty for the first time. So I've got a feeling that Lucas is just going to lead this to the last lap. 2.4, 2.3 separate the top two. And it's just hovering around that low 2-second mark. But he is right there now. He can really see him. We're on the penultimate lap of this pre-season. And as I said, Apex looking like he's going to kick this season off just like how the final whistle blew on season 2. And Snooker is into the wall, caused himself a bit of an issue there, just clattering the wall once again. And 2 seconds now, it's just getting ever closer, but of course he may get just close enough, but as we've seen from people like Lucas and King David, it's so hard to get the overtake done in these conditions. Looks like the rain has now stopped, but I don't think the track is going to dry up anytime soon, and unfortunately we're on the penultimate lap. It's a shame we didn't have a couple more laps to see how that would have played out. That would have been really interesting. 1.8, 1.7 separate Merv and Apex Finley. I think if Merv had 1 or 2 more laps, he'd have been in a real chance. It's not over just yet, but I think Apex needs to make a bit of a mistake. Merv is getting himself a bit of lag there, as you can see on your screen. Apologies for that one. 2 tenths separate that fight for third, but it's not really a fight for third. But Lucas, if I was him, I'd be trying to take that place just in case he gets himself a time penalty. We don't know what warnings he's got, but even if you have one warning, it's still a slight risk as we go on to the final lap now. 1.4 seconds separate the top two. He cut that 11-second deficit down as the yellow flags are out. I'm not sure who that's for. Snooker, who is going to get blue flagged again by the leaders. He doesn't want to get involved in this now, as it almost comes down to a second. It's agonisingly close. I'm sure Merv is trying to be right on the limit there as Snooker gets himself nicely off the track, gets himself out of the way of the leaders. He might have been a little bit hesitant though Apex Finley more than Merv. They're just so close together now. Keep an eye on that time. But I think Lucas A. Germany must have had an issue there. He must have spun around. And he's lost 7 seconds, 6 seconds to his rival in third place throughout this race. As we're now down to 8/10 as we come onto the back straight. We're going to watch this fight for first place. It's looking likely that Apex is going to win it, but by the skin of his teeth, as we negotiate the back straight for the final time in this race. A few more corners to go, and Merv has put up a hell of a drive here. But now I think Merv is just giving up the fight now as Apex Finley rounds the penultimate and the final. The Monday champion has won the pre-season. He really wanted it to start like this, and it started the way he wanted. Merv, though, for his first race in LFR, takes the podium, takes second place. King David is going to take third. Not sure if he had a collision with Lucas A. Germany, though. We'll have to find out about that one in the stewards report after this race. Lucas A. Germany takes fourth place. Chemjazz is going to take fifth. Snooker gets himself a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Anthony comes across the line, snatches that fifth place off Chemjazz. And we're now just going to wait for Civi. And that rain did stop, but the track didn't start getting at all dry just yet, but we'll never know if it had been good enough for dry tyres in a lap or two, as it was only a 27 lap race, and that went rather quickly, I must say. We've still got a few straddlers at the back. As we see Civi come around the penultimate corner to take 7th place. Would be 6 points, of course, but no points today. We'll have to wait till next week for that one. As Cali comes around the penultimate corner, went on to soft tyres in the end, and I think he potentially might lose the position. Oh, this is interesting. This was a big risk for these two drivers. I think Big Weir is going to take that 8th place with Cali having that 3-second time penalty. So Cali crosses the line now to take 8th, spins out in the final corner. So does Big Weir, but Big Weir will take that 8th place with that time penalty to Cali's name. So that is the end of Monday's pre-season race here at Russia, the one and only pre-season race for Monday, but one of 3 for this week, as we see Apex, the champ. As you see Apex, the champion, taking the win in this pre-season race. Thanks for the compliment, Merv. And just watching them do their podium celebration. We'll go for the final classification before we talk about tomorrow. So Apex Finley takes the win in this pre-season race. That's the last time I'm going to say it, I promise. Merv takes 2nd place, the man from Malaysia. King David is in 3rd. The German, Lucas A. Germany, is in 4th. Anthony is in 5th. The Canadian of Chemjazz is in 6th. The Finn of Civi is in 7th. The Northern Irishman of Big Weir is in 8th. The American of Cali Rob is in 9th. Yo-Yo is in 10th. The other American of Snooker is in 11th. Vedran is in 12th. 13th is James Biscuit. Tini Matty was in 14th. And 15th was Dazzy, for the first man to crash out. We have 4 DNS in this race, 2 lap cars of Yo-Yo and Snooker. So tomorrow will be the pre-season race for Tuesday's Limitless 2. As I said, Chemjazz will be commentating on that, maybe with another commentator of Dan Robinson potentially, and obviously Thursday as well. So tomorrow is going to be Austria, and Thursday, Australia is tomorrow, and Thursday is Mexico. Next week, Bahrain for the first race for Monday. Tuesday, Ken doesn't say it tomorrow. Just to cover everyone's backs, Tuesday next week will be Brazil for the first race, and Thursdays will be Austria. So 3 really good tracks to start the season. 20 race calendars for Monday and Tuesday, 12 race calendar for Thursday, with the potential, if the format goes well, because it is completely different, for a second season before the end of the 2021 game. It will run a little bit longer than Monday and Tuesday, give you guys a little bit more content at the end of the season into the summer months, and we'll still have stuff on a Thursday night for you guys. So anyway, I've been Joe for this pre-season Russian race here at the Sochi Autodrome. Apex Finlay took the win. Once again, the champ is on top, leading in to round 1 next week. Is he going to defend his crown? We'll only tell after 20 races when we get to the end of May for the end of season 3. Make sure, guys, to like, share and subscribe to the video. Thanks for everyone for watching this race. Thanks to Jodie for putting out those posts on Facebook. So please share to people if you want to join the league. Look at the Discord link below. If it doesn't work, put a comment in the video after the stream has finished. We'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday's Limitless 2.